Hello, my friends. Thank you for coming back. I'm so excited to be talking with you about this today because it's one of those little mysteries that you may see referenced places and you're like going, do I need a computer science degree to upload my book to Amazon? We're talking about the algorithms, okay? Amazon algorithms. You've probably heard this term and you're going, who are these robots behind the curtain that control things? So, Amazon is a huge beast. We know that. And they have a lot of rules and all of this stuff that go into how products on their site are displayed, how they're ranked, how people find them. It's essentially, and let's be clear here, there's not one algorithm. There's like many algorithms. They're like calculations. They're ways for the website to see how people are interacting with it so that they can serve them better. So as an author with a product on the site, you want to understand the algorithms so you know how your book is going to be reaching the viewing screen of potential readers. What can you do on your end to make sure that happens more consistently or more frequently, and so that you are able to reach more readers and get more sales and have your book get out there, right? So essentially the algorithms are this complex thing that help Amazon index and rank its products. So it's like saying if your product is not doing very well, the algorithm is not going to show it to that many people, and vice versa. If your product is doing better than average, it may get into the hands of more people, right? There is a way for them to tell this. There are many, many ways for them to see how things are performing and how that dictates where they help promote your material, your product, your book. So there are kind of two factors that go into the algorithms that I want you to understand. And today's video is really about education. Let's just understand what this thing is. And if you want to go deeper, there are tons of resources out there to take you deeper so you can become an algorithm master the algorithms. But for today, I want you to understand too that there are two main factors that go into the algorithms, and that's sales performance and then product market fit. Like, are you selling a product that is fitting a market? And obviously, sales performance. How well is your product selling? They're not going to recommend a product to their visitors if it's not selling very well. They're not going to recommend a product to, let's say, a woman that is designed for a man, and vice versa. And again, gender is not necessarily a factor, but it's just a very easy way to see that there has to be a fit for the product and who they're displaying that product to. Feminine hygiene products aren't necessarily going to be displayed to a man, right? That's not a good product market fit, and Amazon doesn't want its algorithms to pick that match up. So the algorithms are designed to take specific things in about who is shown what and when. That's kind of the point of these factors, and both are equally important. You need to have sales performance and you need to have a product market fit in particular, a particular market area, so that your book is seen by the right people. When we talk about how we get, how we start pleasing the algorithms, you want to let's first look at sales performance. Just simply selling a ton of books doesn't necessarily equal good sales performance. The algorithms are designed to watch sales performance as a pattern. So let's say you have kind of a strong and steady sales pattern, maybe a strong and steady incline. Maybe you're selling 2 books, 4 books, 6 books, and you're just, you're kind of trucking along. You're not selling millions of copies yet. Amazon favors that. The algorithms favor that. It's consistent. It's showing that you must be doing something off-site to promote this book, to market it, to talk about it, and it's bringing more and more and more and more people to the site Amazon will boost that for you and push your book out to more people on their, we'll talk about it, various visibility sites or spots on their website. On the other hand, if you talk about your book and amp it up and pre-launch it and all of that, and day one you sell 500 copies, and then day two you sell 4, and so on and so forth with more spikes, inconsistent spikes, the algorithms are designed to kind of ignore those spikes. They just chalk them up to kind of some fluke, and they aren't ranking that as high in their we're going to promote you more or less kind of scale. They're saying spikes in your sales products, or in your sales for your product, are less reliable, less consistent, and they aren't as willing to back that. So the more consistent you can stay in your sales, the better as far as the algorithms go. This really takes it back to your marketing efforts, which we're going to talk about more extensively, not just Amazon focused, but just in general about how do you promote and market your book. We'll be spending a lot of time on that in future videos, but you want to think about your marketing efforts. Are you just going to blast out an email to your entire mailing list and everyone you know to go pick up your book on day one and then not talk about it after that? Or maybe do you tell half your list on day one, half your list on day 5, try to spread it out a little bit? That's, part of the strategy that goes into launching a book. And for someone who maybe doesn't care as much about sales, you still want to think about how you're talking about it. Are you even out there once a week talking about it, let alone just one and done? You don't want to go through the effort of writing and formatting and editing and putting together this beautiful book and uploading it, and then no one finds it. And it's not because it's not a good book. It's just because the algorithms are working against it because you're having inconsistent sales, right? So marketing efforts tie closely into how the algorithm will pick up your sales pattern, if you will. So the algorithms also look at not just how many sales you're getting, but what your sales conversion is. This might be a term you've heard before, but it's like saying if 10 people visit your book website, the page that your book is on, and all 10 buy your book, that's a 100% sales conversion, and that's a really good sales conversion. Probably really good is like 3, 4. I mean, you don't even have to get over half to have a decent sales conversion. So if you have 10 people visiting your site and only 1 buys your book, to the algorithms, that's a low sales conversion, and that is going to rank lower in their priority list. If you are converting your sales higher, they're going to make sure that people see your book. They're a business. If you are sending them the signals that your book is selling, if you can just get people on your book page, it's going to sell, they're going to be like, we're all about this. Let's get you some more people. So they're going to boost that for you. The more you do, the more efforts you make to get people on your page and do things that go into converting visitors into buyers, the better it is for the algorithms and how Amazon supports you in the promoting category. Now, what goes into getting a book to convert, right? Getting a visitor to become a buyer? Well, things like your title, your book description, your cover, right? We talked about those things. How beautiful is your cover? How descriptive is your description? Is your title grabbing their attention? We talked about how to craft these things mindfully. So revisit those videos if needed. But those are the things that if I'm going to look at a book, I've shared this with you before, where I've had someone recommend a book to me, and it goes one of 2 ways. I go on and I'm like, oh my gosh, this book is so beautiful. I have to buy it right now. And then I read the description and I'm going like, oh, I don't think I'm going to like this book, but I just want to buy it because it's so beautiful. Or on the other hand, I know I'm going to like it, but it's just like the cover is not speaking to me. Like the title says something weird, or something is off. I'm not going to be as willing to buy it. So those are the things that help you convert visitors to buyers, which please the algorithm gods. Okay. So the other thing the algorithms do is that because they're very sophisticated, they're going to get to know the types of visitors that will be more likely to buy your book. How do they do that? Are they like spying on us? Maybe. We won't talk about that. Maybe they're spying on us. But really, how they know is when you use the best keywords and categories. And remember, we talked about those in a previous video. The algorithms will go, okay, when someone searches for this keyword and your book comes up, they click on it and they buy it more likely than not, right? They're putting together these calculations. Or on the other hand, if your book is coming up in a keyword search for something that's completely irrelevant, your book is not going to be coming up in searches, and you're not going to get good visitors. You're not going to get a good sales conversion, and all of the things that work against you will start happening. Amazon will pull back on its support of your book and showing it in all its spots. So that is how the algorithms kind of work on a very basic surface level thing. Think about if you've ever visited Amazon and you see that listing of also bots. It's like one of the places Amazon will put your book. If you are visiting a book page and customers that have been on that page before have also bought other books in common, Amazon will show those books, and those are books that are pleasing the algorithm because you are a market fit for the book you're looking at and for those other books. So when we flip that around and look at your book, if your visitors are buying your book, but they've also visited other pages, your book will start showing up in the also bought list for those other books, right? So what if your book is like in the also bought list for Untamed? I mean, like, woot woot, you're riding the coattails then, right? So that is how the algorithm works. It starts trying to figure out where your book fits into the market. And when we talk about, we'll talk about this stuff in the future a little bit more, but when we talk about how Amazon shows your book to the right people, besides the also bought area, there are many what we call visibility spots that Amazon will place your book, depending upon its rank and all of that. So things like the bestseller list, there's like an overall bestseller list, there's lists within genres and categories. All of those lists are updated very frequently. So if you are getting on those lists, you're going to be seen more. Your book will be seen more. Hot new releases, this could boost a new book. Popularity list, if something is very popular in that particular category. Like, for example, if you have 7 categories and your book is most popular in one and it's at the top of the list, that's where your book will be displayed more often than not, even though it's within other categories. And then again, search results. When you have keywords, metadata, such as your title, your book description, and categories that really are hitting on search results, your book will start filtering to the top of those results because it's appearing in results, people are clicking on it and then buying it. That's how it starts being bumped up in those search results. And then if your book gets on the highly rated lists, or sometimes Amazon will send out a recommended email and will even put your book within the recommended email for particular subscribers, because those individual customers might have indicated their interest in a similar book. So that is how the algorithms work. It, again, is a bit complex. I've tried to boil it down as simply as I can with just kind of getting you acclimated to what this term is, helping you wrap your head around what's important and how you may change your behavior as far as marketing efforts go to please the marketing gods, if you will, or the algorithm gods, if you will. So that is the purpose of today's video. I'm going to talk more about those visibility spots in future emails so you understand how your book may end up on those lists and how they help your book sales in general. So we'll spend more time talking about that, but definitely dig into those algorithms if you're wondering how to go about boosting your visibility to the algorithms, your get on the good side, right? But, think about the things that we've talked about. Description, keywords, categories, those are all very important when talking about ranking, when talking about indexing, and showing up in the algorithm in a favorable way. So that is today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a fun little topic for me to discuss, but it's like opening a can of worms. So let me know what questions you have about this, and we will continue the discussion, and I'll see you in the next video.